Good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome to tonight's edition of RWL Championship Wrestling from Uniondale, New York. My name's Don Hickson, and joining me will be Snarl General Manager Hangman Tex Lynch. Tex, we have got a great lineup of RWL mat action this evening.
You sure ain't lying, Dandy Don. What we got? We got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on tap tonight. The Women's World Tag Team Champions American Power is going to be in action tonight in a non-title matchup against Blair Davenport and Carmella, and the new Women's International Champion Jody Warwick, and the less we say about that, the better.
And in tonight's main event, it's going to be RWL Mid-South Champion Billy Whitemoon from Best of the West.
Yes, sir, Don. You put all that together, and you have got yourself one solid hour of excellent RWL mat action. But let's not dilly-dally anymore. Let's get this show on the road. And we'll start tonight with our opening contest, which is going to feature Hall of Famer, the legendary Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, set to go one-on-one against Primetime Bobby Mills of the Unholy Trinity, accompanied by his buddy Big Bob Duncum.
Our first match, set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle from Honolulu, Hawaii, weighing 235 pounds, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
A Hall of Famer, a legend's legend, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, first to appear tonight here on Championship Wrestling, and he will be facing Primetime Bobby Mills of the Unholy Trinity, accompanied by Big Bob Duncum, as you point out, Tex.
And despite his lack of popularity, Primetime Bobby Mills has not been doing bad for himself lately, and it's going to be a tough matchup for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
His opponent accompanied by Big Bob Duncum from Pineville, West Virginia, weighing 228 pounds, Primetime Bobby Mills.
And again, Big Bob Duncum substituting for Dirty Dutch Mantell, the manager of the Unholy Trinity, as Primetime Bobby Mills tries his luck for the very first time against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And what a match we've got lined up here for the opening contest tonight here on RWL Championship Wrestling, Tex.
A terrific opening matchup, but one that's a little bit too close to call for my taste. We're going to have to wait till the final bell to see how it all plays out.
All right, we're ready. Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. Here we go. The men come center ring. Primetime Bobby Mills with Steamboat by the neck. Ricky Steamboat countering with elbows to the midsection. Primetime Bobby Mills counters the neckbreaker from Steamboat. Gathers him up, has him all the way up into a vertical suplex, well executed. Primetime delivers a kick to the back of Steamboat. Steamboat charges, misses with a kick, counters with an elbow, locks up Primetime Bobby Mills. Mills winds up the arm of Rick Steamboat. Rick Steamboat countering it into a top wrist lock. Excellent counter move. Look at this, another counter move from Primetime Bobby Mills. Some pretty impressive train wrestling as we get going here in this matchup. A shot to the back from Primetime. Steamboat whipped to the ropes. A collision with no result. They lock it up again. Steamboat up against the ropes. Primetime holding him there. The referee having to intercede here. Oh, a cheap shot from Primetime Bobby Mills. Steamboat gathered up again. Primetime countered by Rick Steamboat. A fireman's carry from Primetime Bobby Mills. Mills gathers up Steamboat over the shoulders again. Look at this. Kicking it old school here with an airplane spin. A trick we don't see all too often. Primetime Bobby Mills certainly enjoying himself. The fans not too receptive to Primetime as Rick Steamboat struggles to make it to his feet in the far corner. Primetime pitched over the top rope out onto the floor by Rick Steamboat, who says, "Yeah, I did that. That was my counter." Steamboat goes for a kick, doesn't get it. Oh, head first into the ring post. Please don't sing, Tex.
I won't.
Primetime Bobby Mills pitched into the ring steps. Rick Steamboat rounds up Primetime. Primetime counters, drives him into the ring steps in turn. Primetime Bobby Mills presenting some problems here to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as this match progresses. Steamboat again whipped into the ring steps by Primetime Bobby Mills. The referee counting. Primetime driven into the ring steps by Steamboat again. Rick Steamboat rounding up Primetime Bobby Mills once more into the ring steps. These guys are just battling each other, pitching one another into those ring steps repeatedly. Again, this time it's Rick Steamboat. And the referee continues to count. Primetime Bobby Mills rounds up Rick Steamboat. Steamboat counters with a kick to the midsection, charges and misses with the clothesline. Primetime hurls him towards the other side, near the opposite far corner. Primetime Bobby Mills rounds up Steamboat, gets him back inside the ring, follows him on in himself. Primetime Bobby Mills turns Rick Steamboat over, gets him into a seated position, gathers Steamboat up slowly, has him up front slam by Primetime Bobby Mills. The boos from the fans telling the tale here. Rick Steamboat in big trouble. Primetime nails him with a right. Grabs him by the top. Oh man, hangs him up over the top rope by the midsection. Steamboat counters the kick to the chest with a dragon screw. Ricky Steamboat back on his feet. Primetime Bobby Mills could be on the receiving end of some punishment here. No, Primetime countering again. Steamboat counters again. Vertical suplex from Rick Steamboat. Primetime Bobby Mills gathered up by Steamboat. Steamboat missing with the chop, but managing to deliver a couple of kicks to the leg of Primetime Bobby Mills. Mills whipped to the ropes. Back body drop over the shoulder goes Primetime Bobby Mills. Mills counters with a shot to the midsection to Rick Steamboat. Missing with the clothesline also. Missing with the knee goes Rick Steamboat. And whoa, an atomic drop from Primetime Bobby Mills. Steamboat winds up the shoulder and a kick to the midsection. Steamboat nails him with the chop that time, and down went Primetime Bobby Mills. Primetime into an abdominal stretch. Rick Steamboat cinching it in good. A possible submission here. Primetime Bobby Mills counters Steamboat into a hip toss. Takes him down to the canvas. Delivers a hard stomp to the midsection and a hard kick to the back. Primetime Bobby Mills gathers Steamboat up. Winds up the arm. Top wrist lock again. Oh, shot to the midsection and another and a third from Rick Steamboat. Backs off Primetime Bobby Mills. A chop from Rick Steamboat. Primetime gathers him by the tights, has him up and slams him right back down again. Primetime Bobby Mills going for a cover. 1, 2. A near fall as Steamboat powers out of the pin. Primetime Bobby Mills trying to get this crowd to rally behind him, and that's going to be a mighty tall order. Primetime with a clothesline and a second. Steamboat misses with a clothesline. Power slam from Primetime Bobby Mills. Mills rounds Steamboat up to a seated position. Gathers him back up onto his feet. Steamboat countering with a jawbreaker. And look at this. Whoa, what a beautiful head scissor from Rick Steamboat. Just beautiful. Rick Steamboat rallying these fans behind him as he rounds up Primetime Bobby Mills. A vicious chop. A second. A rebound off the ropes and a third right to the head. Down goes Primetime Bobby Mills. Here we go. Big Bob Duncum deciding to intercede here on behalf of his tag team partner. Primetime Bobby Mills sneaks up behind. Look at this, a roll-up pin. 1, 2, 3, and Ricky Steamboat has just been robbed by Primetime Bobby Mills.
Like the Beatles, he did it with a little help from his friends. Let's get the official word from Patricia Saunders.
The time was 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Your winner, Primetime Bobby Mills.
And would you get a look at Rick Steamboat? He is positively irate, berating referee Walt Rothburn for that call. And Primetime Bobby Mills enjoying the fact that he has just cheated Rick Steamboat out of a win.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. That was quick. All it took was for Bobby Duncum to distract him just long enough for Primetime to get the roll-up. All right, folks. We'll be back with more RWL Championship Wrestling when we return from this break. Stick around.